Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Pirate Board Game Breakfast. I'm Mike DiLisio.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Dan Hughes.
And we are sailing the seas. It's rough seas out there, gentlemen. How have you been finding your sea legs today?
Fine. I've got my sou'wester just beside me down here, so I'm ready. I'm ready for the storm, Mike. Ready for the storm.
I have my Dramamine ready to go.
Now, did you do, Chris, on the cruise, did you do the patch, the little patch behind the ear, or did you do the Dramamine pills?
No, I thought that everybody was just a smoker, but I had not seen those patches before. I had done, the first time I went on a cruise, I did the wristband with the
copper
with the
wristbands.
voodoo. Yeah, the little thing there. On the last Dice Tower cruise, I did take a Dramamine a few days, but otherwise I just went clean, teetotaler, if you will.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
A true seasman. Oh,
I was not. I was super sick one of the days. I was like, give me the pills.
So we have a fantastic show that I can't wait to get started with some great contributors. We've also got a game show and, of course, the news. But I've got a couple of announcements that I want to start with right off the bat. Some very exciting news. Speaking of sea legs and rough seas, we will not have rough seas on the next Dice Tower cruise, right? The Dice Tower cruise is smooth sailing. Yeah. It's a smooth sailing, and I guarantee you that it'll be smooth sailing, but I cannot guarantee that. What I can guarantee is a fantastic time and lots of fun gaming on a cruise. And the reason I bring this up is that Dice Tower cruise tickets go on sale May 16th. Well, let me get the old man glasses on. I want to make sure I'm seeing this right. Yes, May 16th at noon. So if you are interested in coming on board a fantastic cruise and all of the wonderful things that go with cruises, but with the added benefit of the Dice Tower library and a lot of fantastic people to play games with, then this is a pretty special experience. I've been able to do 2 of them now and really, really have had a fantastic time. Chris, I know you've been on a couple of them as well.
Really enjoyed them. Yeah.
I went on a Pedalo once. Does that count? And played Snap.
No, well, maybe that counts. Now, Dan, do they have board gaming canal cruises in the UK?
I don't know, but there's a market I could exploit. Good thinking. Right. Good thinking. Yeah.
CanalCon 2023.
Yeah. That's to be very narrow games. Only narrow games allowed. That's
right. How many people can you cram onto a canal boat?
Quite a lot, but they all have to be just in a line. That's the problem.
Fantastic.
Board games you can play with 100 people in a straight line. That's the next top 10 list. You heard it here.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Dan and Cora.
The other big piece of news, and this is even more timely, is that the pledge manager for our Kickstarter opens today at noon local time. So right now we are at just after 9 a.m. In just about 3 hours, the pledge manager is going to open for our Kickstarter. So very exciting. Keep your eyes open for that.
Yeah. Pledge lots. I've heard that CoraQuest promo is really good. I've heard that.
the CoraQuest promo, yeah, that I actually saw a nice sneak peek of that. It's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah. It's all about blobs. All about
That's
blobs.
Right. Yes, and there's some great stuff on there. Anyway. All right, so there's our announcements to start things off. Why don't we get started, gentlemen? Here's an idea. Are you following me?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's start with a couple of fantastic contributors, and then when they're done, we'll come back to a game show that's hosted by one Chris Yee. What does that sound like to you? Sound like a plan?
Well, it doesn't sound as good as I was hosting it, but it'll do, I suppose.
All right, well, let's go to some contributors.
Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella here from Mipo University. Today we have Caper Europe.
Yes, this is the re-release.
Mastermind edition.
The re-release version of Caper. It was a game from about 3 or 4 years ago that they've done a revamp of, as well as a deluxeified Kickstarter.
Is this the next Seven Wonder Duel, Tarrant?
It could be. It's the sort of As a design to play a game with a very interesting set of push and pull and a few different ways of going about things, I think it's the sort of game that really could fit in that same niche as Seven Wonders Duel. It's about the same level of complexity. It has similar push-pull and drafting types of play, so it's very easy to learn. It's probably a little bit more forgiving because it's a little bit more about building up your own good combinations or keeping those cards away from your opponents than some of the more direct things that you can do in Seven Wonders Duel.
It's got card drafting, which is the main element, the main mechanics of the game.
Yes, and I think it gives you a lot more control than the card revelation thing that Seven Wonders has going on.
Oh yeah, oh that's so brutal sometimes. It's like, oh no, you revealed that in Seven Wonders Duel. You revealed that, I wanted that one. Like no, like you know that you can just get it off your opponents. But this card drafting, you kind of like just the normal like pass and take draft sort of thing. And yeah, it's a very enjoyable game. Very good components, very good artwork as well.
Similar level of icon complexity to Seven Wonders, maybe even slightly less.
Slightly less, probably. Yeah, it's pretty easy to understand. Highly recommended.
Yes.
Cape Europe. And thanks for watching. Bye.
Good morning, Board Game Breakfast. My name is Amanda, and I am here today to talk to you a game that I am looking forward to in the future and what I'm going to be playing in the present until I'm able to get my hands on it. And so today, the game that I'm looking forward to in the future is Marvel Dice Throne. It's actually coming out this summer. They did a Kickstarter, and it should be, we'll see, getting into our hot little hands late summer, early fall. Really looking forward to playing that one. Dice Throne has been a really fun game to play because it's easy for new people to pick it up. It's really, I've heard it described as a cross between Yahtzee and Magic the Gathering. You play some cards to upgrade your character and your abilities, and then you roll a bunch of dice and try to do damage to the person across from you. And you attack each other and defend yourselves until somebody's down to 0. So what am I going to play while I'm waiting for the Marvel Dice Throne to come out? Well, probably going to play, it's up here, boop. Yeah, I'm going to play a Dice Throne. And in fact, this past weekend, a big group of folks from my game group got together and we played a Dice Throne tournament. Season 1 versus Season 2, or Season 1 on one side of the bracket, Season 2 on the other side of the bracket. We still have 2 games left to complete it. I recommend if you're going to play a Dice Throne tournament to not start it at 8 p.m. Because people get sleepy and have to go home. But we got pretty close. The monk has been pretty dominant. The artificer and the samurai are also strong in their games. So we will see who comes out victorious in the end. But that's what I'm up to right now. Playing a lot of Dice Throne, waiting for more Dice Throne. Hope you have a great breakfast. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the game show today. This is called Adventures in Judge Judy. So, Dan... Yes. This game show
you've just made me very happy.
I told you, Mike, this game show is custom tailored for one Mike DiLisio, so that when he loses, Dan has so many bragging rights.
I tape every episode. I don't watch them, I just tape them for posterity.
Is Judge Judy available in the UK, Dan?
Yes, we spell it with more U's. Judge Judy, we call it. But
I
yeah.
love it. You don't watch Judge Rinder, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, we've got Judge Rinder. No, I know. I'm aware of who Judge Judy is. I think she's probably on a cable channel type thing somewhere. But Judge Rinder, I think, is what we have. But I don't watch either of them.
I think it's fantastic that you are going to get a picture of what the American justice system is through Judge Judy. I think that's fantastic because it is 100% accurate.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar with Judge Judy, she is a TV. She's really a mediator. She has absolutely no right to really be referred to as a judge, I don't think. But
she used to be a judge, yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah, when you are a television personality, you're not allowed to actually adjudicate. So she is a television personality mediator who settles incredibly petty, family court type of things for people who want to be televised. Airing
their dirty laundry.
Airing their dirty laundry. It is not the most high class of television shows the United States has to offer, but it is Mike's favorite show.
It is absolute class, 100%. Nobody can berate somebody like Judge Judy can berate them. She is the queen of berating people.
Yeah.
When I learned, Mike, that you were a fan of her show. Sorry, Dan. That's why this game show came to existence. What were you going to say, Dan?
I was just going to say that's why Mike's setting up his own Dice Tower version of Judge Judy, isn't it? Judge Z, where Z will adjudicate on the petty squabbles of the Dice Tower crew.
I don't think Z could adjudicate because Z is involved in every one of these petty squabbles.
Well, that's what makes him so qualified.
Oh, that's true. All right. Well, if Steve Harvey can do it, then I'd say Z can do it as well. All right. I'm very excited about this, Chris.
All right. So the show here, or the game show today, is I'm going to be proposing to you, rather, 4 episode titles of Judge Judy episodes. One of them is fake, and you have to decide which is the fake one. So,
all right. So 3 are real, 1 is fake.
3 are real, 1 is fake. Your job is to spot the one fake one. If you don't get it on your first guess, it'll pass to the other player, and whoever eventually gets it will get the number of points for the remaining number of real titles. So if you get on the first guess, you get 3 points. If you get it on the rebound, the second guess, you get 2 points. There's one last chance to get it. Mike, as this show is in your honor, we're going to start with Dan. Dan, here are your episode titles.
I've got one. I've got pen. Yeah.
All right. Number 1, Divorce Fallout equals free horses. Number 2, Mercedes-Benz Tug of War. Number 3, His and Hers Trash Can Fight. And number 4, Thanks for the Car. Now let's break up.
So which one's the false one? I think
one is the false one.
Number 2 is a false one.
That would have been my pick.
It's very difficult to play Tug of War with Mercedes-Benz. I've tried, and neither side wins. They just stays motionless.
That would be a good pick, but it's incorrect. Mike, it's over to you. Your remaining choices are Divorce Fallout equals free horses, His and Hers Trash Can Fight, and Thanks for the Car. Now let's break up.
I really want number 1 to be real, so I will not choose it. I'm going to go with His and Her is Trash Fight 3. His and Hers Trash Can Fight.
Yes, that's the third one.
That has a little tinge of Chris Yee, so I'm going to go with His and Hers Trash Can Fight.
Actually, it has a tinge of Wendy Yee. She's the one that came up with that one. So there you go. 2 points.
Roy, do the numbers go? Can you get to 3 digits on these scores? Because I'm about to wreck it. All right. Now, 3 points, you said? There we go. I love it.
2 points for Mike DiLisio.
Oh, 2 points. All right. Well, I liked 3 better, but sure.
So we're going to start with you on this one, Mike. The second one. Pardon me. First episode title. I Want to Keep the Monkey. Second, Collapsing Wedding Cake. Third, Barbershop Bathroom equals free room. And fourth, Taco Wedding falls flat.
These are all gold, baby. Gold. I like that in every one of these options so far, we've had something equal something else. I do that strikes me as being very real. So I don't think it's going to go. I'm going to go with Taco Wedding falls flat.
That is incorrect, Mike.
Darn it.
Dan, your remaining choices are I Want to Keep the Monkey, Collapsing Wedding Cake, or Barbershop Bathroom equals free room.
I don't even understand what the barbershop bathroom equals free room is.
That story tells itself, Dan. Come on. It paints a picture.
Yeah. I'm going to go for that one because I know that Mike would swerve any talk about bathrooms because of his propensity to cleaning the Dice Tower bathroom, as he's documented on the videos. we know he's in there every day, so I think
this is true.
Because you knew Mike wouldn't pick it. So the bathroom one, the barbershop bathroom. And if it is true, I want you to give me a synopsis of what on earth was going on in that.
Dan, I owe you a synopsis because that is a real Judge Judy episode.
Okay,
Mike, it's back to you. I Want to Keep the Monkey or Collapsing Wedding Cake. This is for 1 point.
All right. Chris, I have too much faith in you and now apparently Wendy, if she was in on this. I think you could come up with better than collapsing wedding cake. So I'm going to go with I want to keep the monkey.
That is indeed a Wendyism right there.
Yes.
So, Mike, one more point your direction.
All right.
Dan, I'm afraid to tell you that Mike is proving himself a Judge Judy aficionado here.
That's correct.
How could this have been predicted that Mike's favorite television program he would get all the answers right on?
You have a chance
let me
here.
make something very clear. These titles are not on the show. I mean, I don't know how Chris is getting these actually because it's not. It just says Judge Judy. They don't tell you what the name of the case is.
Rubbish.
That's the name of one of the episodes, by the way. Go ahead.
Rubbish.
Dan, we're starting with you
solo
here.
video reviews. Anyway.
Oh.
What? I'm on the defensive, Mike. I'm on the defensive.
This is true. You are.
I need
Dan,
to win
starting
big
with
this
you.
time. Okay, I'm ready.
You can get 3 points if you guess it right off the bat. First,
I'm typing them into Google. Go on.
all right. Number 1, overhanging tree branches. Number 2, couch sold. Number 3, ex-con eats all the leftovers. Number 4, here comes the disgruntled bride.
I don't think your average Judge Judy viewer will be disgruntled, maybe too long a word for them. I'm going for here comes the disgruntled bride.
I'm sorry, Dan. That is a real episode.
Oh, this is balderdash. It really is.
Yeah. See, you don't have enough faith in the market, the audience for Judge Judy, who are clearly in the Mensa category. I mean, disgruntled is a word that you're way off base. All right, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna need my choices again, Chris, because I only have 3 now to go from.
Yes.
Couch
Overhanging
sold.
tree branches.
Okay.
Couch sold. And third, ex-con eats all the leftovers.
I really want ex-con to be true. The other 2 seem kind of innocuous, so I'm going to go with ex-con eats all the leftovers.
I'm sorry, Mike. That's a real episode.
Oh, I'm going to see. I need to see that one too. Hey Siri.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Dan, back to you for 1 point. Overhanging tree branches or couch sold.
My watch is trying to answer me. Sorry, I summoned Siri. Okay.
I'm going for. Well, both of these could be incredibly dull Judge Judy episodes, couldn't they? Really?
I don't know about that, Dan.
There's an entire branch of law called tree law. I don't know if you're aware of this. I think
it's a branch of law, Dan.
That's it. So I'm going to go for couch sold.
I'm sorry, Dan. That is incorrect.
Wow.
No points are awarded. Overhanging tree branches, I came up with myself.
All right.
I'm losing this.
Yeah, you are losing, but you are one correct first answer away from tying it up, Dan. Although you don't get first shot this time, right?
No, I know. Yeah.
No, it's in Mike's court.
That's right.
Mike,
you're in my
your
court
4
now, Dan.
episodes titles are: first, swindled in horse deal. 2, you can put lipstick on a pit bull. 3, that's not my dog's name. And 4, cactus custody.
Wow. I'm already impressed that there are 2 horse-related episodes. Oh boy, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with cactus custody.
I'm sorry, Mike. That is a real episode. One that I really need to watch now.
Yeah. So they're fighting over who's got custody of the cactus. I mean, these are the types of cases that only someone with
problem.
It is. Very nice. That only someone with the intellect of Judge Judy can do. Yeah.
I'm surprised this was not turned into an episode of Law and Order, you know? So Dan, your choices are swindled in horse deal. You can put lipstick on a pit bull, and that's not my dog's name.
I'm tempted to go for the horse thing. I'm not convinced that people who watch Judge Judy know what a horse is. So I'm going to go for lipstick on a pit bull.
That's the wrong one, but
Sorry,
okay.
that's real.
Mm-hmm.
That is yet
All right.
another real one. Mike, it's back to you. Swindled in horse steal, or that's not my dog's name.
This is the worst
I'm
game
gonna
I've
go.
played.
I'm gonna go with that's not my dog's name.
1 point to Mike DiLisio.
Yes. That reminds me of the classic Pink Panther bit, by the way. Does your dog bite? If you haven't seen that one, Google that. After the show is over, Google Does Your Dog Bite? Peter Sellers.
That's
Gold. All right. It's a great
Okay.
gag.
All right. Dan, this is your chance. If you don't clinch this first place, there's no
Game's
way
over
that you
for
could
me.
win.
Yeah, you're mathematically eliminated, Dan.
Okay.
You could
That's
possibly
the worst
tie.
type of eliminated.
All right, Dan. Spot the false episode title. First, Giants versus Cowboys let down. Second, Road Rage Heart Attack. Third, Get Out, You're a Squatter. Fourth, Engagement Ring Dog Attack.
So just so you know, Dan, to give you some context, that first episode title is referring to football teams.
I'm aware of this. That's the only one I can remember now. Giants versus what's it?
Giants versus Cowboys let down. Road Rage Heart Attack. Get Out, You're a Squatter. Engagement Ring Dog Attack.
Still don't understand the fourth one. I'm going for the number 2. Number 2 is the fake, whatever it was.
Road Rage Heart Attack.
Yeah, because heart attacks are too serious to. No, they're not.
Yeah, that would have been my guess too.
Yeah.
Dan, you're on the board. 3
Yeah.
points.
All right, we got a game. We've got. Oh my goodness, that was a frightening look.
I've
We've got a game.
road-based heart attack. It was my
That's
time.
great. All right.
Joy-based heart attack.
Uh-huh.
Mike,
Right.
this is the last question.
Here we go. Here
You
we
get
go.
it
Now,
right.
do I go
You clinched.
first or?
Yeah. And then you get it wrong,
Oh,
and
that's
then I
right,
get
'cause
the next
you-
one right, and then win the
Okay.
game. In a
All right, here we go.
Starfleet comeback.
Oh, man.
You're
Gonna be
All
close.
right. This is a Kobayashi Maru situation right here. Mike,
right.
number 1, dueling restraining orders. 2, you can take online classes anywhere. 3, pre-owned wedding ring. And number 4, house destroyed by tortoise.
All right. Now, what do I go with here? Do I go with what I think is the correct answer, or do I go with clearly the funniest answer?
Surely they're the same ones.
No, I'm going with house destroyed by tortoise. That's probably a real show.
That is a real episode, Mike.
Oh,
I
and
thought
I'm
you knew your
going to
Judge
be
Judy
watching it.
lore.
I had to say it out loud because it's fantastic. I need to find this one, by the way.
How does that happen?
Mike, I thought.
Very
I thought
slowly,
you knew
yeah.
Judge Judy.
Slowly,
Yeah.
Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. House Struck by a Tortoise happened after the Infinity Saga, so maybe that's why you're confusing the multiple timelines.
That could be what it is. Yeah.
Heat
Dan,
lamps,
your
that's my
choice.
guess. Anyway.
Dan, if you get
You
this,
got a chance.
you'll earn 2 points and outscore Mike. Number 1, dueling restraining orders. 2, you can take online classes anywhere. Or 3, pre-owned wedding ring.
Here's your chance, Dan. Don't blow it.
I'm going to have to develop internet problems. It's causing me too much stress. I'm going to say you can take online classes anywhere.
It's a good
Although-
guess.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Oh,
That is incorrect, Dan.
So he cannot win, but I can still get a chance to humiliate him further, right?
Please do. Yes.
I'm not
Okay.
convinced winning this game equals triumph, to be
Equals
honest.
horse thief. Winning this game equals horse thief. All right. What are my 2 options?
Dueling restraining orders or pre-owned wedding ring.
I'm going to go with dueling restraining orders.
Mike, you're a fool. That is also an official title of a Judge Judy episode.
Gosh. All
As
right.
punishment for not knowing this, you have to answer. Dan, you have first shot at the bonus question
Oh,
that is
jeez.
worth 90 points.
90
come
points.
on.
Mike, yes. What is Judge Judy's full name?
Oh, I got you here, Dan.
Judge. Well, it's actually
put
Judy.
Judge.
Judge. It's a hint of irony there.
Mhm.
Yeah, Judy Judge.
Roy, get ready. Go ahead and get ready to put that 94 up there.
Okay.
Her name is Judith Scheinlin.
That is correct. Dan, unfortunately, that is a humiliating blowout of points. I gave you the chance to steal it back.
Why is there a negative there?
I'm thinking of Judge Reynolds. That's what I'm thinking of. I get confused.
Oh, yes. All right. Well, that was Adventures Through Judge Judy, which
that was fantastic.
I have seen Mike giggle like a school child in no other setting as much as today. So if anything, that was fantastic, wasn't it, Dan?
I thought it was probably the worst game shows ever been done on Board Game Breakfast, which is, considering the other guys who do this, is quite a statement.
Oof, this is true.
Mike, your rebuttal.
I concur. No, it was a great show, a great game show, Chris, and I loved every minute of it. And also, I decimated Dan, 94-3.
The court rules in favor of Mike DiLisio. This game show is adjourned. Let's cut to some contributors.
In Downforce, one of the problems with the game is the runaway leader problem. And whenever people are betting on the cars, they can clearly see that, okay, if a car has gone clearly ahead, they will keep betting on that car and it will always keep going ahead. But there is a file available on the BGG file section called the betting odds, in which you will get to bet on the lower end cards for high payout results and then try to make them win, which counters the runaway leader problem. So how that works is that if you're betting on a car which is already in the lead, then the payout is going to be less as well. So if somebody is on the first position and you bet on him to become the first, you get 1 million because it's in the first position. But if you bet on the car which is on second position, you get 2 million. If you bet someone on third position, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the payout increases based on their position as well and based on the betting line as well. And that dynamic really changes based on what betting line it crosses and what positions you can bet on. So it's a really easy fix for the runaway leader problem by using the betting mechanism. So if you're interested in that, I always use those betting sheets rather than the scoring sheets or betting sheets that come in the base game. You can get it from BGG file section as well. That's it for me. Happy gaming.
Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk to you about Quick's Longo. So the way this works is on the turn, the active player rolls the dice and then shouts out what the sum of the two white dice are. In this case, 7. All players can then write that 7 down on their score sheet somewhere. Now a 7 at the start is not great because you'd have to skip over a lot of numbers because you have to fill them in from left to right. Now there is a bit of a twist with this. As well as being 8-sided dice, there's also a concept of lucky numbers. If the sum of the two white dice equals that, instead of using that number, you can just cross off the next number in whichever row you have the least crosses in. Now, that's really quite helpful and just allows you to get that a little bit more points. The problem is everyone's lucky numbers are different. Now, this game is already lucky. You're already basing everything off the roll of a dice. And then there's an extra luck factor on top. Now, if everyone had the same lucky numbers, say at the start of the game they'd been rolled for, then it would feel fair that everyone's getting that benefit when the lucky numbers come up. Instead, we've had it where in one game, one player had 13 lucky numbers come up. Their number was like 10 and something, and 10 got rolled about 10 times. And me, being the other player, got 3 lucky numbers in the entire game. It just meant that they had easy opportunity to do lots of crosses, whereas I was having to skip stuff. Now, I don't mind losing, but it did feel that the luck was against me, and not just from the rolls of the dice, but because of those lucky numbers on top of it. Anyway, that is Quick's Longo, a very number-focused roll and write. And until next time, Have a great breakfast.
It's time for the news. And you know what that means, gentlemen. It's time to put on the official news reading specs. There we go. Oh, yes. Fantastic.
This is what I live for.
You're not the only one, Chris. Well, let's start off with some news from DLP Games, which, to my mind, I think I'm most familiar with, Orléans was originally from DLP, if I remember correct. This is a title called Catherine, the Tsarina's City. The Tsarina's Cities. It is from a designer that I'm not familiar with necessarily, but you take on the role of counselors and you're trying to win the favor of the Tsarina, focusing on expansion, the arts, military, trade, unique card system for action selection. So it looks like a dry Euro. And so, Chris, this is screaming Yee time, baby. What are your thoughts on this?
This is my territory for sure. I like the idea of the theme. I half enjoy this cover. You know, the peeking around the door. Wait, it seems.
Well, do you half enjoy it or 1/6 enjoy it? Because that's about all you see is 1/6 of the person there.
That's the weirdest facial expression. I mean, what is that emotion? I mean, it's good. I like it, but what is that emotion? It looks like she's cautiously opening her teenage son's door, not wondering what she's going to find. Basically.
Do you know what emotion that is, Dan and Chris? I've got a word for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Pensive.
She's pensive. I was going to drop the little bit of trepidation on you.
Could be trepidatious, maybe trepidatious, perhaps pensive.
Yeah. Well, but why is she pensive? What's that got to do with the game?
Because everyone's trying to win her favor. Maybe she's, pensive about what's going on. Is it too much expansion? Maybe there's too much arts happening. Maybe not enough military. Perhaps the trade is the issue. I don't know, Dan, but certainly these are compelling questions that demand to be answered.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm excited about it though.
Yeah, I figured it would be something you'd be interested in, Chris. DLP, they've put out some pretty solid Euro games, and it is a theme that has not been overdone by any means. So we'll see.
What interests me. Yeah.
This could be the new fashion. It could be, instead of having glum men on boxes, it could be pensive women. It's the way of the future, Mike.
It's a whole new thing, Dan.
Yeah,
I saw it on TikTok just yesterday, so I know it's hot. All right. Next, we've got a Topic. The game is called Topic. This is being brought from Sit Down Games, but apparently it's a Korean board game designer, and it sounds like a party game. So here's the way it's being described. Players reveal cards from a deck showing a theme and a syllable count. All right. Then everyone quickly needs to come up with a word that matches both of those criteria. Then the last player in the group to come up with that word will take the card. You have a set number of rounds, and whoever has the fewest cards wins. So you're trying not to be the last one out of your group to do this. So I don't know. This could be interesting. I think this is one of those games where maybe people that don't have the strongest vocabulary might feel like they're a disadvantage, or if you're playing with people where maybe they don't share the same first common language, could make it a little bit of a tricky thing. But
I'm someone who has to do syllables on their hands. You know what I mean? I have to beat it out.
Right.
Yeah, the same person's going to win every single time. There's not going to be a variation. The person who's best at syllables is going to win.
Yeah.
That's not a problem, I suppose. It might be fun.
I think this is one of those games that'll be fun, even if there's that one person that tends to always win. I think it's more about the fun, raucous atmosphere around the table. I could enjoy, even if it's got that flaw, But
yeah,
it sounds a bit unique. Like this is not a blatant copy of other party games. I like the idea of the syllables and the letter mashup. Or the syllables and the topic.
It's a bit like Anomia, apart from you're adding syllables into the mix.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an Anomia vibe. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know. I like the depiction of hams on the cover. You've got a ham hock there. You've got a kiwi. You've got some interesting things there. So I don't know.
Yeah, Sit Down is known for the way of the future for board game covers these days, along with pensive women. hams and kiwis.
We are on
blue
the cutting
safety
edge.
cones.
Yeah.
Yes. As you know, when you drive down the road and road work is happening, there's blue safety cones everywhere.
That means you have to be really careful.
Yeah. Ham hock and kiwis equals angry horse. All right. Next, we've got a re-implementation, a re-theming of a previously released game called Growl, which was a kind of a social deduction riff on werewolf, and now it's been re-themed into Stranger Things, Attack of the Mind Flayer. So it's a 4 to 10 player game. And it's Repos, actually, that's picking this up, Repos Productions. And it's supposed to be released in May in Europe, August in North America. But yeah, again, it's kind of a riff on werewolf. And so, I don't know, I think this theme could work for that. I do feel, it does feel a little bit, you know, I don't want to say cash grabby, but there's a little bit of a hint of that there. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it's based on a solid game underneath it all, by the sounds of it, isn't it? So it's better that than a rubbish. And the people who maybe buy a Stranger Things game may not have played a werewolfy type game. So
That's true.
I can see that audience really liking that as well. So yeah. At least it's not Cthulhu.
That's true.
100%. This is a game that has a market. I don't think it's necessarily us.
No.
Right. And I have to separate that idea, like who even wants this, with the reality of, a lot of people want this, just not me.
No, Stranger Things is too scary for me.
Yeah, you bring up a good point though, in the sense that people that might be interested in Stranger Things and haven't played a lot of modern board games, this would be their introduction to social deduction type games. And a lot of times there are people that like just social deduction games and really have no interest in any other part of the board game hobby. You know what I mean? So this could actually be very appealing to them.
Katharina the Great. Yeah.
They're not going to, right. They don't want anything to do with pensive people, right?
And even when you're new to board games, even if you turn out not to like social deduction games like me, I was all over Resistance right at the beginning of my, you know what I mean? So I think it'd be a really good introduction to modern board games, and for the D&D crowd as well. Stranger Things is popular with the D&D crowd and stuff like that.
That's very true. Very true.
So yeah, I'm all for it.
All right. Okay. Well, good. Hey, speaking of IP-based games, now this one is a little bit more interesting to me in the timing of it. We've got a new Firefly board game, a deck-building game called Firefly Misbehavin', coming from Gale Force 9, and they're saying that this is coming right to retail in August of this year, and it's a deck-building game that has a scenario-based episode mode where you can play through the plots of the show, and so I guess my question on this is how, I know that Firefly has a pretty devoted fan base, but enough to support all of these games? I mean, do we really feel like we need another Firefly themed game out there? I don't know.
Wasn't there another deck building Firefly game, the legendary Firefly? Was that? Oh, am I imagining?
Did they have a?
There was a legendary. It is infamous for having the worst artwork of.
Oh, that's right.
Any of the legendary series and most card-based games.
Right.
Honestly.
Okay. Because they do narrative very well in deck building as well. I don't know. It's 20 years old, is Firefly. There's only 3 episodes, yet it's still
right.
going, isn't it, as an IP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked Firefly fine, but I guess I just didn't see it engendering this passionate base that has all of these products, you know?
Well, Gale Force 9 have done other Firefly games as well, haven't they? So maybe they're just milking the last out of that IP, maybe the license. You know, they've still got the license, obviously. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I like Firefly, but I don't think I need that many games about it.
Yeah. This one could be fine. I don't know. It doesn't grab. Also, the cover doesn't grab me. It doesn't feel very Firefly. And I know people complain all the time that we're very petty sounding when we talk about these news announcements, but this is what you have to go off of. A cover's got to sell the game. You know, this doesn't look exciting. This looks like red nebula, yellow kingdom, blue planet. I will play this game, and I will not go into it with some sort of bias, a negative opinion about it. I like the show a lot, but I do have all the same questions. Why now? Why another Firefly game? But hey, it could be great. So we'll see.
We'll keep our eyes open for it. I mean, if it comes through the office, I'm sure we'll play it. So, all right. Next up is Boardgametables.com. They make more than board game tables, folks. They also make a number of board games. And what they're going to be doing here is they have announced new expansions to 4 existing games that they have put out. And so I think this is interesting kind of to do it like this. And this is actually going to be going to crowdfunding, I believe. They've announced a crowdfunding project for these titles. So you've got an expansion for QE, which is a very interesting almost an economic party game, I would say, called, what are they calling this? Commodities. Then you've got an expansion for Kabuto Sumo, which is a kind of a dexterity game, which is almost like the coin pushing mechanism. You've got a expansion for On Tour, which is a roll and write game where you are kind of drawing a map, or drawing a path along a map in the United States, and now you got 2 new maps, Paris and New York. And then you've got Bites, which is the only one. Actually, I haven't played Kabuto Sumo either. I know you have, Chris, but I haven't played Bites. So I really like QE a lot, and I like On Tour, so I'm excited about this. I want to hear what your impressions are on these.
I've only played QE. I would happily play an expansion. I don't know if it needs one, but they've obviously come up with something. I haven't played any other 3, but it is interesting they're doing a Kickstarter for all 4. Obviously, I'm guessing you will be able to select which one you want and things like that. Right. But I don't know whether the Kickstarter, having all 4 in, will take any attention away from each individual one. But they obviously know what they're doing. I'm no Kickstarter expert. So expansions for some very popular games. I mean, I've heard of Bites. That's the one I haven't heard of.
I've heard it's a very light game.
Older.
Yeah, but
a little bit older. I mean, I think the other 3 are more recent than Bites. I think Bites is the oldest of these 4, is maybe the way I should say it. Very light, cute little game. You move your person forward and collect different snack foods. I could see that getting an expansion. That one seems easy to throw in. On Tour, I don't know how you'd expand it. Just basically different maps.
I think it's just new maps. They may add some little mechanisms in there, but I bet it's just going to be a couple of new maps.
Okay. Kabuto Sumo sounds really cute thematically, that you can bring in, it's wrestling. He's got the chair, there's chairs and other bits you can push in there, or you can, there's a few mechanisms where you can set something on there on a piece, and when it gets knocked off, you get a benefit. We'll see. The game's so simple. I don't know if I want it expanded and complicated per se.
Yeah.
But QE, I think that's the one I'm most curious about, because it's a stellar game and it's really unique.
It is.
It really is.
And I think the kind of hook, the set your own price thing, is absolutely wonderful. But there's a little bit of weakness on the roll and writey bit. The bits where you're ticking stuff off. So if that is made more gamey, then that could really improve things, I think. I mean, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong. I really like it.
Yeah, no, but I turned into Peter Brady. Yeah, I can see that, Dan. It says the commodities adds the ability to diversify by investing in gold, oil, and crypto, and the ability to magically lower the amount you have already spent. Well, there's already something about that annoys me, but I'm still going to keep an open mind. All right.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Something different else to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Something to diversify a little bit.
That's what annoys you. You don't like
That's what it is.
You don't like the mention of Superman's dog.
Not a fan of Crypto the Superdog. No, I always felt like he was a hack. I mean,
more of an Ace the Bat Hound kind of person.
Well, I'm more of a Scrappy-Doo fan, if I'm being honest, but that's all right. Okay. Or Scooby-Dum. Oh, Clue. All right. Coming up next, we've got some news in the world of Spirit Island. And this is interesting because what they've done, they being Greater Than Games, the publisher of Spirit Island, is they took their first 2 promo packs, which had some new characters and some cards that went along with them, and they've packaged them together as a retail package now, where it used to be very difficult to get a hold of these periodically. They would go for very high prices on the secondary market. And so now it looks like they're making them readily available to anybody in this Feather and Flame package. So it's going to retail for $34.95. And so you're getting 4 new spirits, a new adversary, 2 scenarios, and other cards. I think that's great. I'm a big fan of Spirit Island. And so I had both of these promo packs at one point. I have to check if I still have them. But I do like that they're going to make it more available to people. They don't have to pay those, overpriced scalped, amounts.
If there's demand for these promo packs, it's really good that they're meeting them at a reasonable price rather than everyone having to pay it through the nose. So that's good.
Yeah.
Good. Unless you want someone who's just paid through the nose for one, and then this gets announced the next day, and then you're not happy.
Sucker, you got
yeah, it sucks to be you.
Yeah, and it's available on their web store as of today, I believe, or yesterday even.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I've only played Spirit Island once. Is that a pretty good amount of new content?
Yes, because base game Spirit Island is I believe 4 spirits, if I remember. They've had so many expansions I forgot. But I believe the base game came with 4 spirits. So that's plenty of content.
Okay, cool.
All right, moving on. We don't normally talk about crowdfunding games or games that are going to crowdfunding, but I put this in the news because a couple of things. One, I love the theme, and I absolutely am over the moon with this cover. And Tom said he didn't like the cover. He's wrong, or at least maybe I don't. Were you there, Chris, when he was talking about this? I thought he said he wasn't that taken with it.
Yeah, I think he's very wrong.
He's wrong. This is one of my favorite covers that I've seen in the last 5 years for a board game. I love this kind of it's got this old jazz record vibe. They're clearly playing into that with a little imprint of the vinyl album inside of there. I think this is great. I love music-themed games. There are so few of them. It says here players are playing as jazz musicians, improvising their way through songs. I don't know if the game is going to be any good. It's going to Kickstarter in September, but I love this theme and I love this cover, so it made it to the news.
It looks really interesting. As you say, I've got no idea if the game's any good or not, but it looks novel and a really innovative theme. I mean, playing a game as people improvising a musical song is really good for a theme. Nice, unusual theme.
Yeah, I hope the game matches up with the things. That's the hard thing to do, is represent the fun and interestingness of music, musicality in a game format.
Although music is ultimately maths, isn't it? You find a lot of mathematicians are musicians because it's ultimately maths. Things sound good if they're in a pattern, don't they?
Yeah, it's a mix between math and feeling, and that's the part, I guess, it's harder to convey is the feeling part of it. I also like the little in the cover here, the different musicians are call outs to different, are kind of what do you call that, like Easter egg type. Like, you got Dave Brubeck there on the piano. I really like that,
Yeah, for sure.
It's a cool cover. I think Tom's wrong. It's also interesting that I think jazz is becoming a little bit more used of a theme in games, which I'm absolutely fine with. The On Tour expansion takes place in the 20s with jazz musicians. Mm-hmm. There was Big Easy Busking by Weird Giraffe Games was about jazz buskers and stuff. So I like that. Let's have more of that theme.
It's a new paradigm in board gaming, isn't it? Jazz on the covers of film. Jazz,
pensive jazz musicians. I think jazz maybe works well because of that whole improvisational thing. I think maybe that plays into what you're talking about, Chris, with how you convey feeling, the improv thing. Maybe that's being tactical. You know what I mean? That type of a thing. I don't know. These are very heady questions. All right. In some pretty, I think, heartwarming. Is heartwarming the right word, or just very cool, positive news? The Spiel Foundation, which has been around for many, 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 many years. If you've been to board game conventions, I know Gen Con for sure, they the gentlemen that wear the brightly colored meeple jackets are part of the Spiel Foundation. And they just completed a very large charity project in March. They delivered 2,036 board game bundles that encompassed more than 10,000 board games games total to a variety of different organizations. It said that every bundle contains 5 quality board and card games, and it's given for free. So it's given to places like the Boys and Girls Clubs, hospitals, libraries, shelters, senior centers, and schools. And what's even better is that not only do they just give them the game, but they give them the game that's already prepped for play. They've punched the components and bagged them and assembled them. And they've sent them to 5 different countries: Nigeria, the Philippines, Canada, the UK, Germany, American Samoa, Puerto Rico. 28 different game titles donated from Ravensburger, Bezier, Haba, lots of different companies here. So I think this is just really cool.
Yeah, this is really good, really good. And sending it out to groups that might use it as well, looking at it, sounds really, really productive. Well done, Spiel Foundation.
Yeah, that's great. And this takes a surprising amount of coordination that people might not expect. Especially, some of these places have very big restrictions on what kinds of games they can even accept. We tried to donate games to a children's hospital before, and they said every piece has to be able to be bleach sanitized in between plays. So it takes, it's not just, we got a bunch of games and we ship them out. There's more planning and strategy that goes into how to do these types of endeavors than people might think. So huge hats off and congrats for that.
Yeah, great stuff. All right, moving on to the digital board gaming realm, and Root Digital, which is the app version of Root, which in my mind is the very best board game implementation in app form. That's my opinion. I think that Direwolf did this, and it is, I think, the best digital board game. They've added some new stuff. They've added the new Vagabond characters. I think they've even added the Exiles and Partisans, which is like a replacement set of cards for the game that have been available in the physical form, and now they're in the digital form, which is fantastic. And now I'm terrified because I'm hoping I was right that it is Direwolf. I think Direwolf did this, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. Yeah, Roy says yes. So there you go. Have either of you guys played Root Digital?
No.
Yes. A lot of it.
It's great. It's so good. Dan, have you played Root at all? Have you played the physical Root?
I played it once. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It was all right. I can see the appeal of the digital one, because you don't have to teach 5 different people the rules every single time.
Right.
But not that there's anything wrong with Root, but it's just one of those games that it's got quite a large teach time.
It's got a learning curve for sure. Yeah. But I'm glad to see that I'm glad to see they're still supporting it. That's good news. All right, now we've got a couple of pieces of news from Spielworks. The first is a very interesting title and cover. This is London Necropolis Railway. This is it's a limited edition of 1,000 copies. Apparently, it could be pre-ordered on the Spielworks website on March 15th, but I think that's probably mostly for Europe, would be my guess. I don't know that for sure. You might be able to order it outside of that. But they're saying in the US, this is going to be a game that's available via the BGG store. So they say this train game that isn't a train game. So I'm not sure what that means, but I am intrigued by the cover. And so I don't know.
What does that Latin say, Mike? You're a Latin expert. What does that mean?
Death something, life something. Life and death would be my guess. Mortis and Vivus would be life and death, but I don't know what the keys and the solus. Living soul, the dead something, living souls maybe? I'm not sure. There might be somebody in the chat that knows Latin.
Souls, maybe. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
it could be. I know if,
Sorry.
Spirit Trains.
What were you going to say?
Spirit Trains are a great, American folklore thing, and maybe even other countries. I'm not sure, but that's interesting. Spielworks did that second edition of Ground Floor the same way, where you had to order it through their website, or in the United States through the Board Game Geek store. They've done some of these limited print run games before, and I'm finding that I do enjoy train games, and so this one that advertises itself as that isn't quite a train game. I'm intrigued. Daniel Newman also did the Dead Man's Cabal, so he likes this a little bit more, funny, macabre kind of a theme. So
yeah,
I'm very interested.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So from Spielworks, and I just got done saying we don't talk about crowdfunding projects, but I'm talking about this one because this is, to my knowledge, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right here. This is the first game by acclaimed designer Uwe Rosenberg that has gone the crowdfunding route. And so this is going to, I believe, GameFound.
It's on GameFound, yeah.
It's on GameFound right now, correct?
Right
a 1 to 2 player game by Uwe Rosenberg. Oranienburger Kanal? Do you think I said that anywhere close to correct?
Probably not. No.
As an American, it's as close as you'll get.
Probably,
I'm very excited by this because there's canals around my way. So if Uwe is suddenly starting to do canal games, maybe finally we could get that Huddersfield board game that everyone's been clamoring for.
They've been clamoring.
Yeah.
They've been clamoring. Are you a fan of Uwe games, Dan? Have you played many?
I played a fair few. I'm a fan of some of them. Yeah. I prefer his lighter ones than his these heavier ones.
Got it. Okay.
But
this might be up your alley then. This is a 1 or 2 player, 45 to 60 minute game.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's a looker. So you got that
it
looks all right.
a looker.
Looks all right.
It at least has a very distinct, stylized look. I don't know if it's the most attractive cover in the world to me, but I don't know. It looks like at least it's thoughtful, and there was a lot of design work that went into it.
It's a bit of a mishmash, isn't it? Very industrial. Then you've got the kind of Art Nouveau stuff going on around the side. So,
yeah.
So it's just
intriguing.
Yeah.
All right, so these last 2 pieces of news are on here for Chris Yee and the rest of you folks, but we've got some Phil Walker Harding news, and I think that it's fair to say that Phil Walker Harding is a designer that Chris has a lot of affinity for. I happen to like a lot of his games as well. So Blue Orange Games is going to release Museum Suspects directly into U.S. retail in 2022. And it says that players must sort through suspects to figure out who committed a crime. There's a single thief hiding amongst 16 suspects. You select a clue, put a price on it, and then keep track of it in your notebook. So there's some bluffing involved. Some betting involved. It looks like it's being marketed towards families, would be, I think a fair thing to say. So I'm intrigued. Blue Orange and Phil Walker Harding is a combination that has done some pretty good stuff. Retailing for $20 too.
Can you? I've got a lot of faith in Blue Orange and Phil Walker Harding. It's a bluffing game, and I'm wondering how well a bluffing game works with a mixed staged group. But then again, as I say, I've got a lot of faith in Blue Orange and Phil Walker Harding. Both have a lot of thought into their games and stuff, so I'm sure it works out. But it will be interesting to play a bluffing game with Cora, for example, because I'm you know what I mean. The mixed age groups have different. Bluffing's quite a sophisticated skill, ultimately.
Yeah, it is.
But you got to learn it. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm very curious about this one, but I don't want to say trepidatious or intimidated or anything like that. I need to drop.
Are you pensive?
I'm pensive. I kind of what Dan's saying. Like it seems like it'd be a good family weight game. This company and this designer tends to be able to have a game that's distilled down to the most crucial aspects of that game that still makes it really fun and thoughtful. So I mean, I'm gonna play it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and the cover's doing its job because we have some people in the chat saying that everybody on that cover looks pretty sus. And I agree. Personally, that turtle has definitely destroyed a home within the last day or two, that tortoise.
I would say so.
All right, and now continuing on with some pretty big Phil Walker Harding news. He's, and I believe along with his wife, co-founded by, no, it says Phil and Meredith Walker Harding. I'm assuming it's wife, but it could be, who knows, it could be a sister. But anyway, he has started a new board game studio called Joey Games. And this is going to be focused on a couple of different things. Number one, it's going to be focused on Australia and their culture, their environment, their wildlife, and their people. And they're also working towards sustainability, environmental sustainability in the production of their projects and in the design of their projects as well. And they've announced their first 3 games. Now, I've made a point of saying that we don't typically talk about crowdfunding projects, and we've had 3 of them in the news. But this goes beyond that, because this is the establishment of a new board game company by a designer. And so I think this is very interesting. Busy Beaks, Scribbly Gum, and Pass the Party Food. And again, they're all kind of related to Australian culture. And so I think this is a really, again, a cool idea. I'm excited to see kind of where this goes.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. I just realised that my mother's Australian, and that Pass the Party Food game, they've got fairy bread on there, which is basically sprinkles on top of bread and butter.
Yes.
Which I used to have at every single birthday party I ever had, and all my friends thought was the weirdest thing in the world ever. So that's really warmed the cockle of my heart. I got a little bit of a nostalgia kick there.
Yeah,
I think this is fantastic. I really do. I think all its aims are great. The expanding of Australian culture, and focusing on that. I think the environmental concerns, the bringing it to children. So I think it's wonderful. I'm up for this. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
And in true Australian fashion, Pass the Party Food has fairy bread and pastels and all these delicious-looking foods and deadly snakes.
Sure, of course. Yeah, you've got to have something venomous at every meal, or else you're truly not doing it right. Yeah, but no, this is very cool.
I will say, I'm going to be very blunt and say that if I saw these covers from any other company, I would not be interested. Knowing what this is.
That might be the point, though. These look like games that you might pick up at a mainstream toy store to play with your young children, and that might be what they're going for.
Or a museum gift shop. Yeah, right. Yeah, it looks like something you'd find at like a children's museum. Gift shop.
Exactly, Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I think Pass the Party Food is age 6+, Scribbly Gum is 8+, and the Busy Beaks is 10+. So they're going for kids' age games, and they're looking for things that are family playable. It goes into everything that I think Phil Walker Harding does well as a designer, and now I'm interested to see his philosophy as a publisher as well as a company. And so it's because of all those things that, I look at those covers and say, oh, okay, I would pass on this normally, but I know there's some substance behind it. This is not a cheap cash grab. So I'm really excited about this.
And really good branding as well, because if you buy one and like it, you're going to look at the other ones and think, oh, well, that's the same.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah.
They're definitely 100%. Going for a consistent style across the board. And I agree with you, Dan. Yeah, I think that's setting yourself up well. If you're coming out with a good initial slate of games, and I assume that he's probably not going to put out garbage, then you're setting yourself up for, continued success. So
and we keep saying he, but it is both.
Yes, they. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. You're correct.
Yeah, Phil and Meredith Walker, because Meredith is doing the one doing the graphic design and stuff. So that should be pointed out. That's great.
Which is what we're complimenting. So yes, it should be pointed out. Yeah.
Well done, Chris. I'm feeling especially pensive now. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the news. We've got some more great contributors, and then we're going to come back to wish you a fond farewell. But don't go away just yet. Stick around for those contributors.
Hey Siri, how old is Monopoly?
The answer I found is 87 years.
So as a young gamer, there is a lot of games that are older than me. And just a few examples. Monopoly, and the game behind me, Catan. And the game we're talking about today is nearly twice my age. And, this game is called Bonanza. This game had its 25-year anniversary with their game. And, to celebrate, I got to play it, and it is really fun. Of course, it's easy and fun, because I love easy and fun games. But I'm not talking about easy and fun games. I'm talking about the cards. Literally, okay, you got your Bane here, right? but this is what you use for points. It's not just a logo. It's literally cards. It's literally the coin. Like, you flip it over and give yourself points. So to explain, so basically for this you get if you get 4 of these coffee bean cards on your bean field, you get 1 coin, all the way up to like 4 coins for 12 coffee bean cards, which is insane. It works perfectly. It's like a key and a lock. It's really cool. And another thing, or all the things I like, so all the things I like about this game is cards. The easiness of the game is also really, really fun. And I don't necessarily like the art, but come on, it's old. We gotta give it some credit. It's classic. So, yeah. Have a great breakfast and play some old games. Give them some credit. They're classics.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, today we're talking about Cthulhu Wars Duel. All right, when Cthulhu Wars came out, it was well known for its huge miniatures and big price tag that went along with it. So they made Cthulhu Wars Duel. This is specifically a 2-player version of Cthulhu Wars, and this replacing all of those minis is now standees, making this a shorter game, also with a lower price tag, specifically for 2 players. It has area control, it has combat, it has kind of this action selection economy going on where you're gaining power and then spending it to use actions. So overall, this was kind of a boiled down version, but also added some new things to Cthulhu Wars.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting game for me to play. There was one thing when Ryan was teaching us, because Ryan teaches me all our games. Thank you so much for that. When Ryan was teaching us, I was a little frustrated because I always like to have a player aid. However, it's just a 2-player game, and the back of the rules has this entire thing, and you just place it next to the board, and then you're fine and good to go. So my real complaint with this game wasn't even viable.
Yeah, I think this game had a lot of fun things as far as scoring opportunities. Obviously, this is a combat game. When you knock players out, you get some points that way. When you have these kind of what they call rituals, you can do these rituals, which you get points based off of how many of these Cthulhu-y kind of gates that you have control of. And so the more points you have, the more close you are to victory. Obviously, that's how games work. And also, everybody had their own special what they called spell books. You can kind of customize and modify all of your different factions, so that way, as you went on, you'd be able to put these spells out there. Now your player your board has a special ability that the other player doesn't have. It's completely asymmetric in that way, and there's going to be more factions coming as well to add even more depth there.
Yeah, there's really decent pacing in the game of starting at a certain level and then ramping up. I thought that the pacing was done really well. For everybody, if you want to hear more from us, make sure to find us on YouTube, where Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews, and you can find us in any other platform you want.
You guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
And that's it for another Pirate Board Game Breakfast. Thanks to all of the fantastic contributors, as always, for bringing their special dose of fun to Board Game Breakfast. And thank you also, of course, to Chris and Dan for being such a fantastic team to chat about board games. A cadre of co-hosts, indeed. Really quickly, I did want to mention that today we have our top 10, a nice, exciting top 10, which is going to be the top 10 games that all aspiring board game designers should play. So myself and Tom and Z are going to be talking about that. I do want to also remind folks that we changed up our Shoots and Marbles. Our marble racing show normally airs on Tuesday afternoons, and we rescheduled it this week to tomorrow morning. So if you have kind of bemoaned not having marble racing in your life, fear not. Tomorrow morning, you've got your chance to do so. And then I know that we've got a series of live shows that are very exciting coming up, don't we, Chris?
That's right. Next week, starting on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, the A team, so Camilla, Roy, Wendy, and myself are going to be going through our top 100. That's going to be starting on Tuesday. We'll be doing one a day for a little bit there, so just over 2 weeks. So that'll be fun to go through. Dan, what do you have to push?
I don't have a great deal to push, although there is currently the Golden Geeks being voted on, and there is a podcast on the Golden Geeks called Sporadically Bored with Mike and Dan, which coincidentally happen to be mine and Mike's names.
That is correct.
is superb and is well worth a vote, even if you've not even listened to it. In fact,
That's correct.
That's probably the only reason we will get any votes if you've not
Right.
listened to it. But still, so for your consideration.
Yes, we
I'm
have
using
been
this
nominated.
platform,
Correct.
For personal gain, strategy
Correct.
board for Golden Geeks.
We have been nominated for Golden Geeks, but we if you wanted to vote for us, that would be splendiferous. Is that a word?
It is now.
It is.
That, Mike.
Yes, that would be pensive. If you were to vote for us, it would be very pensive. Thank you again for watching. Stick around later on today for our top 10 and other fantastic videos, reviews, and such that are going up. But until next time, I'm Mike DiLisio.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Dan Hughes.
Have fun corralling house-destroying tortoises.